I dumped my husband for being too controlling. Now I'm broke, alone, and he was right all along. I used to think I was too smart, too independent, too grown for my husband, Daniel. He was always advising me, always trying to protect me from the world, warning me about people, suggesting what friends I should avoid, and even reminding me about bills and saving money. At first, I thought it was sweet. But after 2 years, I started seeing him as controlling instead of caring. I'm 29 now, but back then I was 26, a nurse working long hours and just craving a little excitement in life. Daniel, 32, was an accountant, calm, stable, and very routine. Too routine. Every time I dressed a little sexier or wanted to go out with my friends, he'd ask, "Where are you going? Who's going to be there?" He never stopped me, but that tone in his voice, it made me feel like a teenager again. I started telling myself, I'm not a child. I don't need a parent. I need a partner. And then I met Max. Max was everything Daniel wasn't. Tall, charming, spontaneous, and dangerously smooth. He flirted with me at the hospital cafeteria. He was doing some IT contract work there. I laughed too loud at his jokes and felt those butterflies I hadn't felt in years. One night, I went out with my friends. Max showed up and I kissed him. Just like that, I cheated on Daniel. And I didn't even feel guilty. For the next few weeks, I was emotionally distant from Daniel. I started fights over stupid things. He knew something was wrong. One night, I screamed at him, "You treat me like a child. I'm done." And I left. Daniel didn't beg. He didn't cry. He just looked at me for a long second and said, "You'll see what I was protecting you from." I moved in with Max within a week. At first, it was like a fantasy. We'd go out drinking, partying. He'd shower me with attention. He hated when I talked about Daniel or my past. He wanted all of me, and that made me feel special. But a month in, things changed. He started asking for money. "Just till Friday," he said. Then he asked me to use my credit card to cover a rental car, and he'd pay me back. He never did. He started going out without me, coming home at 2 or 3 a.m. When I questioned him, he laughed and said, "You're not my wife. Chill out." The day I found out he slept with another girl while I was at work, I lost it. I screamed, threw his stuff out, but he just walked away and never came back. My savings were gone. My credit cards maxed. My heart shattered. I reached out to Daniel, and he didn't even reply. That's when it hit me. He wasn't controlling. He was loving. He wasn't trying to rule me. He was protecting me because he knew how the world worked. And I threw him away like he was nothing. I went by our old house a few weeks later. There was a new car in the driveway. A woman's voice laughing in the backyard. Daniel had moved on. I wasn't just replaced, I was erased. And the worst part, I deserved it. When Melissa walked out that night, slamming the door and calling me controlling, I didn't chase her. Not because I didn't love her. I did. Desperately. But I had seen the change coming for months. The late nights out, the constant texting, the secrecy with her phone. I knew she was slipping away from me and toward someone else. And as much as it tore me up inside, I wasn't going to beg someone to love me if they'd already given their heart to another man. When she screamed, "You always act like I'm a kid. I want to live my life." I knew then that no amount of love could save someone who thinks boundaries are shackles. So I let her go, and I quietly started preparing my new life. The very next day, I moved all our joint savings into a personal account. Not out of spite, out of foresight. I knew Melissa was impulsive and Max, the guy she was hanging out with, was bad news. I didn't want to wake up one morning to find thousands drained by a man who never cared for her. I blocked her number. I unfollowed her on social media. I disappeared. It hurt more than I can explain. Nights were the worst, when the bed was cold and the silence was loud. But I held on to the image of her laughing at some bar while I sat home wondering where I went wrong. That kept me strong. 2 months passed. I didn't hear a word from her. Then one day, I got a text from an unknown number. "Daniel, please. Can we talk?" I didn't reply. The next day, another one. "You were right. Max used me. I don't know what to do. Please just talk to me." Still silence. I wasn't playing games. I had simply closed that chapter. A man can only be used once before he learns to never offer the same hand twice. 3 weeks later, I saw her outside our old house. She looked thinner, tired. Not the radiant woman I once knew, but someone worn down by life and bad choices. She stared at me with red, pleading eyes as I got out of my car with groceries and my new girlfriend Rachel. Rachel didn't know the full story, but she knew enough. That my ex-wife had left, cheated, and returned with regrets. Melissa whispered, "Is that your new girlfriend?" I just nodded and smiled politely. "Take care of yourself, Melissa." and walked inside. You see, revenge doesn't always come in shouting or chaos. Sometimes, it's the quiet absence of a second chance. A week later, a mutual friend told me Melissa was working double shifts at the hospital, trying to pay off credit card debt Max left her with. Her apartment lease fell through, and she was couch surfing with an old classmate. She destroyed her own life, and I didn't lift a finger. Because the truth is, she did all the revenge work for me. I used to think karma was just something people said to feel better. But now, I live it. It's been 6 months since I walked out on Daniel. 6 months since I threw away the most loyal, loving man I've ever known. 6 months since I chose Max, a walking red flag with good cologne and a perfect smile, over the quiet strength of the man who actually cared about me. My life is a mess. Max drained me emotionally, financially, and left me with nothing but credit card bills and a broken heart. The friends I used to party with? Gone. They don't return my calls. I can't even blame them. I pushed away the real people for the ones who only liked the fun me. And Daniel, he's thriving. I saw him with her, Rachel. She's not flashy like I was. She's simple, beautiful in that natural way, and she looked at him like he hung the stars. The same way I used to, before I got greedy. I thought I could do better. That someone more exciting would give me the thrill I thought I deserved. But that thrill came with a cost I didn't expect to pay. What hurts the most is not that Daniel moved on, it's that he never looked back. Not once. No drunk text. No call. No, I miss you. Nothing. He just erased me. And maybe he was right to. He warned me. Not in a cruel way, never like that. Daniel was never cruel. He always tried to guide me. Protect me. Not control me. I just couldn't see the difference then. I thought independence meant pushing away the people who tried to help. I tried texting him again a few weeks ago. Just to say sorry. Just to say I finally understood. He didn't reply. I heard through a friend that he and Rachel just bought a new home together. Apparently, she's pregnant. That news shattered me in ways I can't explain. Because he deserved that happiness. He deserved more. But I didn't think I'd have to watch it unfold while sitting alone in a tiny studio apartment, struggling to afford groceries, staring at an old wedding photo I can't bring myself to delete. I thought I was smart, but all I did was sabotage my own life with my own hands. If I could go back, I'd choose differently. I'd listen instead of argue. I'd appreciate instead of complain. I'd love instead of leave. But life doesn't offer rewinds. Only play, and sometimes, painful pause. This is my story. Not for pity, not for sympathy. Just as a warning. When someone loves you quietly, protects you even when you don't know you need it, and stands beside you without needing praise, don't mistake that for weakness. Because when you lose them, you might just lose yourself too. I appreciate you watching till the end. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content.